You'll never get married before me now." With a sudden shrill laugh, my younger sister Ashley burst into the bridal suite. We were at the Grand Pavilion, a luxury hotel in Atlanta, in the very suite reserved for brides. I, Stacy Johnson, was about to experience the most important day of my life. At 28, I was putting the finishing touches on preparations for my wedding to my longtime boyfriend, Ryan Baker. And suddenly my sister stormed in with a lighter in her hand. As I finished getting dressed and stood before the mirror, Ashley didn't hesitate. She set fire to the hem of my wedding gown. "Ashley, what are you doing?" My bridesmaid, Emma, shouted, but it was already too late. The beautiful ivory satin dress was engulfed in flames in an instant. "I'm prettier. I have more Instagram followers than you." Ashley cackled maniacally, staring at the burning gown. "Why should you get married first? It's so unfair." In the Johnson family, Ashley had always been called the miracle baby since she was born and was endlessly spoiled by our parents. My father George is a renowned lawyer, my mother Hillary is the queen of the social scene, and to them, Ashley has always been their little princess. Meanwhile, I was always the responsible one, carrying the heavy burden of family expectations. Mom and Dad both say I should be the first to get married. Ashley watched the fire spread, clapping her hands in satisfaction. "You're so plain and boring, yet you get to marry someone as amazing as Ryan? How dare you?" Ryan is the CEO of a successful Silicon Valley tech company. A Harvard graduate, he's known for being sincere and brilliant traits that only fueled Ashley's jealousy. The wedding's off. Ashley spun around, screaming with glee. "No dress, no wedding. I'll be the first bride in the family." The other bridesmaids in the room, Mandy and Kristen, were frozen in fear. The smell of scorched fabric filled the air, and the smoke detector started blaring its alarm. Yet I felt eerily calm, as if I'd been expecting something like this all along. "You have no idea what you've just done," I told her quietly. Just then, the door opened and Ryan walked in. But his face wasn't shocked, it was twisted with guilt. "Stacy." Ryan's voice trembled. "I'm sorry, but I can't hide this anymore." My heart nearly stopped. "What are you saying, Ryan?" Ashley grinned in triumph. "There's no need to keep it secret anymore. Ryan loves me." "Is that true?" My voice shook. Ryan nodded, his face contorted in pain. "For the past few months, Ashley's been coming on to me. At first I resisted out of loyalty to you. But over time, her passion just overwhelmed me." Ashley clapped her hands in excitement. "That's right. We're meant to be. Ryan said he only stayed engaged to you out of obligation. Now that you know the truth, we can be together." I slumped against the wall, my legs giving out. "Since when?" "For 3 months," Ryan admitted honestly. I was weak, Stacy. You're so perfect, it felt like too much pressure. But Ashley is spontaneous, passionate. We love each other. Ashley pointed at the blazing gown. "So this sham of a wedding is over. Ryan's running away with me." The smell of burnt fabric thickened as the alarm blared on. At that moment, the suite door flew open. My parents and the hotel security staff all rushed in together, alarmed by the smoke and siren. "What's happening?" My father's words stopped as he saw the scorched remains of the gown. "Oh my God!" My mother screamed. "Ashley, are you hurt? What happened?" The fact that my mother was worried more about Ashley than about me, whose dress had just been set on fire, summed up my entire 26 years of life. The security chief looked around, trying to make sense of the chaos. "Can one of you explain what caused the fire?" Ashley faltered for a moment, but quickly slipped into her usual act. I was just trying to stop my sister." "Stop her?" My father looked at her in confusion. Ryan let out a long sigh and spoke. "There's something I need to explain." My parents and the hotel staff turned to him. "Ashley has been following me around for the past few months. The room fell completely silent at Ryan's confession. What did you say? My mother, Hillary, turned pale. Ashley tried to seduce me and I gave in. My feelings wavered, Ryan continued. And today, Ashley set fire to Stacy's wedding dress. The head of security's face turned grim. So, you're saying this was arson deliberate? Ashley panicked and tried to defend herself. But I had a reason. My sister never understood our love. My father buried his head in his hands. Ashley, what on earth have you done? My mother's voice trembled. This is a crime, Ashley. Arson is a very serious offense. But my parents' attitudes quickly changed. But wait, my mother suddenly cut in. There must be some misunderstanding. Ashley would never do something like that. My father quickly added. That's right. This must have been some accident brought on by emotional turmoil. Ashley didn't do this out of malice. The security chief shook his head. I'm afraid the evidence is clear. Ryan says she intentionally lit the dress on fire. Ryan's just confused, my mother insisted desperately. He's racked with guilt and can't think straight. Ashley's a good girl. This must be some sort of mistake. My father, slipping into his dignified lawyer's tone, declared. In any case, this is a family matter. There's no need for outsiders to get involved. We'll handle this privately. A family matter? I stared at my parents in disbelief. Ashley committed arson. That's a crime. My mother started to cry. Ashley is sensitive and fragile. She must have been under so much stress. She needs help, not punishment. That's right, my father continued. Ashley is ill. She may not be fully responsible for her actions. This is a medical issue, not a legal one. Encouraged by her parents' defense, Ashley became combative again. That's right, I'm the victim. You stole my boyfriend and I was desperate. The head of security looked at her, exasperated. Be that as it may, the facts don't change. This was an act of deliberate arson. At that moment, I took a deep breath and slowly stood up. Surprisingly, I was smiling. That was quite a performance, Ryan. What? Ashley's face was drained of color. I pulled my iPhone out of my purse and turned the screen to face everyone in the room. This will make everything clear. On the screen was a live stream, showing the events in this room in real time. Ashley's arson, Ryan's confession, and every word of my parents' defense were recorded in high definition. What is that? Ashley's face went ashen. It's a live feed from the security camera. I started broadcasting 45 minutes ago. Every moment of your crime and everyone's reactions are on record. Ryan walked over and gently put his arm around my shoulders. You really are amazing, Stacy. Everything went according to plan. Plan? What are you talking about? My mother, confused, demanded an explanation. I replied calmly. Ashley, you started trying to seduce Ryan 3 months ago. But Ryan reported everything to me from the beginning. The two of us planned to expose your true nature and our parents' favoritism to the entire world. Ryan looked at Ashley, apologetic. Ashley, when I rejected your advances, you threatened to ruin the wedding. That's when Stacy and I decided what we had to do. My parents stood in shock. So you mean, my father stammered. That's right, I continued. Ryan pretended to be interested in Ashley to get her to reveal her destructive plans. And today she fell right into our trap. She committed arson and property destruction and showed her ugly true self to thousands of viewers. But most importantly, I looked at my parents. Was your reaction? Even when your daughter committed arson, you still defended her. For 26 years, I've tried to tell you about your blatant favoritism. Today, the whole world saw it. Ashley began to tremble. But Ryan said he loved me. Ryan shook his head. I'm sorry, but it was all an act. Your shallowness, your selfishness, and your jealousy toward your sister, none of those are attractive to me. In fact, seeing your behavior only reminded me of how amazing Stacy truly is. I smiled. Too bad, Ashley. You thought you could steal my husband, but all you did was destroy your own life. And now, the whole world knows just how biased our parents really are. I pointed at the charred remains of the dress. And by the way, that dress was a fake. It wasn't the real $15,000 Vera Wang. It was a $200 replica. What? Ashley shrieked. That's a lie. I burned your real dress. Sorry, but you didn't. I nodded toward the back of the closet. Emma understood and opened the door, revealing the original Vera Wang gown, perfectly preserved in all its beauty. Hand-sewn beadwork, the shine of silk satin, delicate French lace, everything untouched. Ashley turned completely pale. You set me up. A setup? I shook my head. No one forced you to do anything? No one made you commit arson or seduce Ryan? You chose to follow your own jealousy. I simply prepared for what I knew would happen. I went on. For 26 years, your behavior was always covered up and justified. This time, I made sure there was no way out. The head of security finally spoke up. We need to call the police. This is arson and property destruction. No. My mother screamed. Please, she's just confused. She didn't mean any harm. My father quickly jumped in. This is a family matter. Our younger daughter, she's sensitive. She's been under a lot of stress lately. Sensitive? I looked at my parents in disbelief. With all the facts laid out, you're still calling her sensitive? My mother, now in tears, pleaded on. Ashley is our family. She's delicate and needs protection. This must be some kind of breakdown. She could never intentionally hurt anyone. For 26 years, that's exactly what you've said, I replied coolly. When Ashley broke my toys, she's just a little child. When she tore up my homework, it was probably a mistake. When she lied to my friends, it was just a misunderstanding. When she tried to steal my boyfriend, love is free, after all. Every time you justified her actions. My father made one last desperate attempt to defend her. But this is different. She's clearly in some kind of crisis. She needs help, not punishment. We're her family. We have to protect her. I gave a bitter smile. For 26 years, Ashley didn't need help or protection. She needed to be held responsible. But you always shielded her from the consequences. And now, this is the result. My mother pleaded with the head of security. Please, she's a good girl, she just made a mistake. We'll pay for everything, we'll get her into therapy, just please don't let her be arrested. But I remained calm. Mom, Dad, the evidence is clear. And this isn't just a legal matter. It's a family matter too. This is what happens when you refuse to hold Ashley accountable for 26 years. I looked around at everyone in the room. Today, the truth finally came out. Ashley's obsession and your favoritism are now plain for everyone to see. But from now on, everything changes. I refuse to be the family's sacrifice any longer. Ashley collapsed onto the floor, sobbing. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. But I knew her apology wasn't sincere. She only regretted being caught, not what she'd done. Save your tears, Ashley, I said. Today you changed your life and you changed mine too. But for me, it's for the better. For the next 30 minutes, until the police arrived, the bridal suite was thick with tension. Ashley sat crying on the floor, while my parents desperately tried to take control of the situation. But the live stream had already been seen by thousands and couldn't be erased. Stacy, my mother said, approaching me. Please, don't escalate this any further. Ashley is young, she's just immature. I'm sure she's sorry. Is she really? My voice was cold. Ashley has gone out of her way to sabotage my life, time and again. Far from being remorseful, she's always seemed proud of it. And you always looked the other way or even encouraged her. Ryan took my hand. You've been carrying this burden alone for so long, haven't you? I have. I looked into his eyes. But it's over now. Today, the truth is out, and I'm finally free. At that moment, Ashley suddenly stood up. Free? Don't make me laugh. Her tears had turned to anger. You're always playing the perfect big sister, making me out to be the villain. I just wanted to be loved too. I turned to face her. Ashley, you've been the center of this family since you were born. Mom and Dad gave you anything you wanted. I was always expected to give in, to sacrifice, to be the one who compromised. Was that never enough for you? Never enough? Ashley screamed. You were always the smart one, always praised, always the ideal daughter. All I ever heard was that I was cute, like nothing else about me mattered. The entire room froze at that moment. Without even realizing it, Ashley had exposed the core of our family's dysfunction. So you knew, I said quietly. You knew our parents treated us by different standards, expecting perfection from me, while spoiling you. My mother started crying. We thought we were protecting her. I pressed her. Protecting her from what? From reality? From responsibility? From growing up? You thought you were protecting her, but you actually created a monster. My father buried his head in his hands. We failed, both of you. Yes, you did, I agreed. But it's not too late to change. Ashley can change too. But only if she truly reflects on her actions and takes responsibility. The sound of approaching police sirens filled the air. Ashley started crying again, this time out of fear. Please, Stacy. For the first time, she pleaded with me sincerely. Help me. I looked at my sister for a long moment, and finally, I made my decision. I'll help you, Ashley, but in my way, not with coddling, but in a way that helps you actually grow. The police arrived and began questioning everyone. I've never seen such a complete record of a crime, the officer said to me. Live streams, security cameras, audio, physical evidence, it's all airtight. I smiled. Thank you, officer. I'm a professional event planner. Keeping records is what I do best. Just then, my assistant Olivia entered the room. Stacy, Plan B is ready. Plan B? Ashley asked fearfully. Of course, the wedding. A real ceremony in a real dress, pledging real love. Your sabotage failed completely, Ashley. I'm going to spend this beautiful day exactly as I planned. I smiled again. I prepared for everything, to protect the people I love, to reveal the truth, and to finally claim my own freedom. Today isn't just my wedding day, it's the beginning of my new life. At that moment, the officer stood up. Ashley Johnson, you are under arrest for arson, property damage, and harassment. As she was handcuffed, Ashley made one last desperate attempt. This isn't over, Stacy. I'll tell everyone what kind of person you really are. I answered calmly. Go ahead, Ashley. The truth is already out. And I'm not afraid anymore. After Ashley was led away, I changed into my real Vera Wang dress. For the first time, as I looked at myself in the mirror, I was able to smile from the heart. This dress wasn't just an outfit, it was a symbol of my freedom and victory. You look absolutely radiant, Ryan said. His eyes were filled with love and admiration. I'm so proud of you, Stacy. What you did today took incredible courage. Thank you for supporting me, I said, taking his hand. Now we can finally begin our marriage built on the truth. The bridesmaids were moved to tears as well. Emma wiped her eyes and said, I always knew Ashley was trouble, but I never imagined it was this bad. You are the strongest person I know. Thank you, I replied. Now, let's start our wedding. Before heading to the ceremony, I had one final conversation with my parents. They were clearly shaken and racked with guilt. Stacy. My mother's voice trembled. We're so sorry. We failed as parents. Her voice caught with tears. I kept telling myself I was protecting Ashley, that she was fragile and needed special care. But now I understand, I wasn't protecting her. I was enabling her bad behavior. And in the process, I sacrificed you. My father's dignity as a lawyer was gone. I've spent my career fighting for justice in the courtroom, defending the innocent and seeking truth. But I was blind to the injustice happening under my own roof. His voice was shaking. Every time you came to us about Ashley's behavior, I dismissed it. I called it sibling rivalry. I told you to grow up. Over and over, I forced you to forgive and forget. My mother continued. We put the burden of being perfect on you while allowing Ashley to be imperfect. We expected you to sacrifice your own happiness for family harmony, but that wasn't peace, it was repression. Tears welled in my father's eyes. You became the child who never caused trouble because you learned you wouldn't be accepted if you did. We made you that way. And at the same time, we created a monster, Stacy, my mother wept. And in doing so, we lost a daughter who is strong, brilliant, and kind. You had to become your own parent, your own protector, because we failed to be those things for you. My father then pleaded. Can you ever forgive us? I know we don't deserve it. I know words can't undo 26 years of pain. But please tell us there's a chance. My mother's voice trembled as she added, We'll do anything, Stacy. Therapy, counseling, whatever it takes. I want to learn how to finally be the kind of parent you always deserved. I looked at them for a long time. Their apology was too late, but for the first time I felt it was sincere. I took a deep breath. Forgiveness doesn't happen overnight. But if you're truly willing to change, I'm willing to meet you halfway. On one condition. Anything, my mother said. Ashley needs to receive professional treatment. And we need to rebuild our family relationships from the ground up. I don't have to be the perfect daughter anymore. And Ashley can't be the spoiled child anymore. We all need to build an equal adult relationship. My parents nodded through their tears. When I stepped into the ceremony hall, 300 guests greeted me with warm applause. Many had watched the live stream and understood what had happened. But their faces showed not judgment, but support and respect. Ladies and gentlemen, the officiant announced, today we have witnessed the triumph of true love and courage. It is my honor to begin the wedding ceremony of Stacy Johnson and Ryan Baker. As I walked down the aisle, my heart felt astonishingly calm. The weight of 26 years had finally lifted from my shoulders, and for the first time I felt truly free. When I saw Ryan waiting for me at the altar, I knew this was the beginning of my new life. During the vows, I spoke from my heart. Ryan, today I am not just marrying the man I love. I am choosing a life built on truth, respect, and equality. Thank you for seeing the real me and for standing by me through everything. Ryan's vows touched me deeply. Stacy, your strength and intelligence inspire me every single day. I promise to be your equal partner, to support your dreams, and to protect the beautiful life we will build together. During the ceremony, messages flooded my phone. Congratulations from friends, support from colleagues, and most surprisingly, words of encouragement from strangers. The live stream had already reached tens of thousands, and many praised my courage. Most moving were the messages from women suffering in toxic families themselves. At the reception, I gave a short speech. Thank you all for making today so special. Not only did we celebrate marriage, but also the power of truth. For years, I sacrificed myself for family peace, but I learned real peace can only be built on truth. From today forward, I will live with honesty and courage, not lies or cover-ups. There was a standing ovation, and many in the room were in tears. That night, in the honeymoon suite, Ryan and I reflected on the day. Any regrets? He asked. None at all, I replied. Breaking 26 years of silence, let me reclaim my true self. I believe Ashley can be helped too. She's ill, and with treatment, she might change. What about your parents? It'll take time. But I believe their reaction today was genuine. If they truly change, maybe we can rebuild a relationship. But it can't be the old one. It has to be something new and healthy. I gazed out at the city lights. For the first time, I feel like I can breathe. For 26 years, I lived trapped by my family's expectations, needing to be perfect, to endure, to protect my sister, but I don't need to do that anymore. I can live for myself now. Ryan embraced me. 6 months later, we were living our newlywed life in a new apartment in New York. My event planning business had actually soared in popularity after the wedding incident, bringing in many new clients, especially brides facing family issues. My parents kept their promise, covering all of Ashley's treatment expenses and attending family therapy themselves. But the biggest change of all was in my father. 2 months after the wedding, he suddenly resigned from the law firm where he'd built a 30-year career. A man who couldn't uphold justice in his own family has no right to speak of justice for others, he said. His partners and colleagues were baffled, but my father's resolve was unshakable. I built my career on the premise of pursuing truth and justice, he shared during a family therapy session. But I was the greatest hypocrite. How could I fight for victims in the courtroom when I was enabling abuse in my own home? With his resignation, their finances changed overnight. The luxury house in the upscale neighborhood was sold, and they moved to a modest house in a middle-class area. My mother lost her standing in her social circles, and the extravagant lifestyle they'd known was gone. Yet, strangely, my parents seemed more at peace than ever. Money and status were just ways for us to avoid facing our real problems, my mother admitted. Instead of teaching Ashley values, we bought her anything she wanted. Instead of spending time with our children, we hired help. My father began volunteering at the local legal aid society, working pro bono for victims of domestic violence and underprivileged children. This is what real justice looks like, he said. Working not for money, but for those who truly need help. My mother changed too. Once obsessed with parties and high-end shopping, she now volunteered as a cook at a community shelter. One day, I received an unexpected letter. It was from Ashley. Dear Stacy, I'm writing this from the psychiatric facility where I'm currently receiving treatment. According to the doctors, I have narcissistic personality disorder and severe abandonment anxiety. For the first time in my life, I'm beginning to understand why I acted the way I did. I know this doesn't justify my actions, but I want to sincerely apologize. I'm not saying this because I got caught. I am truly sorry for the pain I've caused you all these years. You were right, I am sick, and I made the people around me sick too. My therapist says recovery could take years, maybe even a lifetime. But I want to try. I want to become the sister you deserve. I don't expect your forgiveness right away. I know it's something I have to earn. But I hope that one day we can build a real relationship not based on jealousy or competition, but on respect and honesty. Congratulations on your marriage. Ryan is a lucky man, and you deserve all the happiness in the world. From your sister who is trying to be better. Ashley. I read her letter with tears streaming down my face. They weren't tears of anger, but of hope. Things weren't perfect yet, but our family was truly changing. And for the first time in my life, I feel a deep sense of peace. Freed from a toxic family dynamic, I am living according to my own values, with the man I love. Most importantly, I had learned to love myself. I no longer needed to be perfect, nor did I have to meet anyone else's expectations. I am enough, just as I was. And now I am truly happy. Truth has triumphed, and love has overcome all. This is my story, the beginning of my new life.